Here's what our program looks like. It's an 18-month program followed by 6 months of aftercare. We divide this up into 5 phases. You have to earn your way up. Not everybody is going to complete this program, and those that do are probably not going to complete it in the 24 months. A stage may be 2 months long, it may be 3 months long. Someone may be in a 3-month minimum phase for 6 months if they don't meet their objectives and they don't earn it. There's no social promotion in drug court. I put boot camp in quotes here. If there's one thing that I want people to leave here knowing about drug court is not a hug-a-thug, touchy-feely, let's all hold hands and talk about our childhood. It's not like that at all. There are a lot of people that will not come into drug court because it's so much easier for them just to serve their time. I guarantee you that it is far, far, far more easy to sail through a prison term than it is to go through a drug court program. This is what stage 1 looks like. These are the high notes. There's more to it, but these are the main features of stage 1. And if people are able to earn their way up from stage 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, we will gradually reduce and relax some of the restrictions, but they've got to earn it. We'll run through them real quick. Stay clean, you would expect that. Now, the type of people that we bring into the program, they're going to have some relapses. It'd be unrealistic to expect otherwise. But when they do, we're going to know about it. We're testing them a minimum of 3 times a week, more likely 4 or 5 or 6 times a week. This may come in the form of a knock on the door when they're not expecting it. More often than not, it's them receiving a phone call. Show up, you're being tested. They have to face the judge every Friday after our group meeting. They're either going to be rewarded for their behavior that week or they're going to be sanctioned. There's something about the human psychology where if we can put off the negative consequences of our bad behavior, then those negative consequences are not going to serve as much of a deterrent. That's just the way we're wired. So if you've got an addict and he's thinking, well, maybe I'll use, maybe I'll get caught, maybe I won't, I may be indicted by the time I get to trial, that's going to be a year or more. That's not much of a deterrent. But when you know that if you use on Wednesday, you're going to jail on Friday, that allows us to mold behavior. Treatment is the backbone of the program. You have to attend treatment, and this is group treatment I'm talking about, 4 days a week when you come in, hour-long sessions. Our treatment is a little bit different. We target not just the addiction, we target the whole person in the criminal thinking. If you take an addict criminal and you sober that person up, what do you got? You got a sober criminal, okay? Well, that's an improvement, but you still got a criminal. So 50% of the effort is directed towards maintaining sobriety, 50% of the treatment treats the person as a whole. Our goal is not just to sober people up, but to transform them into addicts, into criminals, into productive, contributing, healthy, safe members of our society. Our treatment is also a little bit different in an important way because it's mandatory. If someone checks himself or herself into treatment at a private facility, they can check themselves out. They may get to the point where they think, well, you know, I really don't like the attitude on this treatment provider. I don't like this other person in group. I'm done. I can do it on my own. I don't need that. And they can walk out. You can't walk out of drug court. You walk out of drug court, you're walking into prison. You can't even be late to treatment. If you're late to treatment, you're looking at a fine or community service. If you miss more than a half hour, then we consider that a miss. Now you got to go see the sheriff. It sounds harsh, but half measures do not work with the people we're dealing with. Drug abuse is a serious, challenging, difficult problem, and it takes a serious, challenging program to fix that, to get their attention. We can keep them in treatment 6 times longer than a program that isn't supervised in this manner. We can put them in the chair because the alternative is so difficult. On top of the group treatment, We have individual treatment as directed. If they need it, they get it. They're going to get it. One family session per month. They need to bring a child. They need to bring a spouse. They need to bring a parent so they can be involved and informed about what's going on. In addition to the treatment, there's support, which comes in the form of a 12-step program. We're not going to tell them, you have to go to Celebrate Recovery, you have to go to AA, you have to go to NA. They have to select, they have to go, they have to document it, and we do check on them. If they're not working, they need to start their search for work in phase 1. By phase 2, they need to be working. One of our goals is to transform tax burdens into taxpayers. They've got to work. If they don't have a diploma or a GED, phase 1, they make plans. Later on in the higher phases, they're actually taking classes, and then they have to be testing. Again, it's the whole person that we're working on improving here. They're under a curfew. It's pretty tight in phase 1. If they can earn their way up, we'll relax it as they earn their way through the phases. If they're going to be late, it better be a good excuse, and we better know about it. Our participants know that if their NA is running over, if they have to stay late at work, Deputy Barker gets a text, and he'll check on them. We know where they are. They've got to have some skin in the game financially because this isn't free. If they get too far behind, they're looking at community service, or they're unable to phase up. They have to earn their way through. They got to keep a job. If they can do this, if they can work their way through the phases, then in phase 5, at this point, they need to be working. They have been working for a long time. They need to have already tested for their GED. They need to be serving as a mentor to someone new coming into the program. And this last one I really like. I really like this. They need to write a letter of apology to their arresting officer and invite that person to their graduation. Nothing requires the officer to appear, but I'm told they always show up. How does this affect recidivism? If you research it, you will find hundreds and hundreds of studies across the nation. You'll see really high numbers on recidivism, you'll see really low. I like this study here that was published in the Journal of Criminal Justice because it is a meta-analytic review of 154 other independent studies. So it takes out the highs, it takes out the lows, and it gives us this average from looking at a lot of data. And what they tell us is that if you complete a drug court program, you are 38 to 50% less likely to be arrested within 3 years. So you can cut the drug-involved recidivism rate in half. If you're a great program, you can do better. That's just the average. Again, it's the whole person that we're working on improving here.